More reviews left for Montober 2019, and I want to do a good old horror comedy. 2011's Tucker and Dale versus Evil, starring Tyler Labine, Alan Tudyk, and Katrina Bowden. It's a This movie's really a misunderstanding. It's just a whole bunch of really, it's a good about not getting all the facts. The whole premise of this movie happens because of a big misunderstanding. Tucker and Dale are two best friends that purchased a summer home, unaware to them that this cabin was once owned by two serial killers. And it's funny, they get to the cabin and there's like a shrine to their crimes, but the one thing Dale homes in on, oh, look, a coupon. Chili dogs, buy one, get one free, no expiration date. The two characters, Dale, he seems like the archetypical hillbilly type character up front, but he's actually very smart, got a heart of gold, he's socially awkward. Tucker is more of a controlling personality type, even though they're best friends. He's not as afraid to be a jerk, and he's more of the take charge and do it type guy. And they go to get supplies to fix up their cabin and run into these college kids, and Tucker's trying to tell Dale, just go, say hi to them, smile, laugh. And Dale's real nervous because he's socially awkward and he's holding this big scythe and he walks up to them smiling, and because he's so nervous he's laughing maniacally. The two paths split ways for a while, with Tucker and Dale ultimately going fishing, but before that, one of the college kids tells a story that comes in later about these hillbillies that massacred a group of people in the same area on Labor Day weekend years back. Well, while Tucker and Dale are fishing, the college kid played by, oh, I'm bad with names here, let me look it up again, Katrina Bowden, falls in the water, knocks herself out, so they do the right thing and pull her out, which in this scene we also see in innocence to Dale because Dale's not looking where Tucker's staring. And they pull her out, and the college kids see her pulling her out, and they're just like, hey, we got your friend! Just like, yeah, we saved your friend, but what the college kids think is, we got your friend. And this is where the whole thing starts, and yeah, a lot of the jokes in this movie are telegraphed, but they're not any less funny. The next day, she wakes up, first gets scared, and she quickly sparks up a friendship with Dale, and she's first to really see how smart Dale is, and she's like, no, you don't have a weird brain, that's actually very smart. And it's actually a nice dynamic, and those two form kind of a touching relationship. It's two characters you legitimately want to see wind up together. Meanwhile, Tucker's doing all the work. The college kids go to confront them. But again, like I said, misunderstandings. They only see half of the scenario. Tucker's cutting wood with a chainsaw, hits a hornet's nest, and he comes running out from the hornet, only he doesn't drop the chainsaw. And it's what they didn't see. The chainsaw hit the hornet's nest. They just see this crazy redneck running at them at full speed with the chainsaw, and it scares them, and one thing leads to another. One of the kids gets killed. How? It's just hilarious because it's just more carelessness than anything, which that's the other thing, with the exception of a couple when one of the characters goes crazy at the end. And it's just one where he maliciously kicks. Pretty much all the deaths in this movie is just accident after accident after accident. And in some cases, hilarious accident. Like, there's this beam in their house, and if you push down on it because it's bad, part of it falls out, and this beam with these big old nails sticking out comes swinging down. Well, there's a scene later where a character leans on it and gets the nails to the head, and he he gets up and they're like, oh, he's gonna be okay, look, he's walking it off. And it's just little funny things like that. Or my favorite, the second attack on the house, Tucker's out back throwing wood in a wood chipper. Well, one of the college kids goes to tackle him, and he has a screwdriver. And at the time he goes to jump at Tucker, Tucker reaches down to grab a piece of wood, and this kid jumps headfirst into the wood chipper, giving Dale the scare of his life, and a funny line after that. And even when a officer does get involved, he comes in at the worst time, and again, another misunderstanding on top of misunderstandings. This movie, like I said, as far as the comedy aspect, a comedy's an easy film to review. It's funny or it wasn't funny. You can do it in one sentence. This is funny. It's entertaining. It's well cast. Yeah, a lot of the characters are stock cliche, what you would expect in these movies, but again, this is a parody of this type of movie, and it's one of the better horror parodies you'll see because it's not full of just dumb toilet humor in immature jokes that a 12-year-old would find funny. It's actually, dare I say it, a little more mature of a parody in that respect. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like a parody Mel Brooks would have put out, but it's more thoughtful than the average parody and more well put together, and it doesn't treat the audience like they're immature. And we get ultimately where one of the kids goes crazy, and it turns out he didn't realize, but one of the killer hillbillies from the story he told was his actual father. And it goes to a scene where he goes to the cartoon villain route where he ties a girl to a buzzsaw and Dale has to save her. We get a fight with a funny conclusion, and we get the movie to wrap up real nicely in its own right. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, while not the most inventive or original horror comedy, it delivers on the laughs, it gives you likable characters, and it parodies the slasher genre without going over the top into extreme absurdity. It's not a cartoony type parody. It's a parody that takes itself from a slightly more grounded aspect, in as crazy as some of the circumstances as they are, you have to stretch your imagination a little, but you could kind of buy this sort of misunderstanding actually happening. I give it an A-. It's a lot of fun, and if you're just looking for a hilarious horror comedy to just sit down and laugh at, this will deliver, but it's also going to deliver on characters that you actually wind up caring about, and just that it's as every bit as fun as a movie like this should be. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil definitely gets an extremely high recommend from me. Well, one more video left. John Carpenter's Halloween. This is going to be a hard one, because what more can I say about that movie that hasn't already been said? But I figured that's a great one to close out on. So I will see you on the 31st with that review. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Over and out.